I know people are gonna go crazy. You know, thick and unruly. You've got a lot of swag. I like a big tomato. If you want to impress someone with your BLT, here are all the little tips and tricks to do just that. I'm making a BLT, and I feel like no two people make it the same. I like to treat the L, the lettuce, like it's a salad, because I think bacon and tomatoes have got a lot of swag, and the lettuce is kind of like sad and along for the ride. So I'm gonna give the lettuce its own little sauce. 3 tablespoons olive oil, 2 tablespoons of, I like red wine vinegar, but you could use balsamic or lemon juice. A tablespoon of mustard, maybe a little more than a tablespoon. And a tablespoon of water, just to make sure that mustard doesn't get too, you know, thick and unruly. I whisk that together. I want the lettuce to be dressed up. I take the inner leaves of romaine. I know a lot of people like iceberg. I like those inner romaine heart leaves, even some of the bigger ones. And if they're really big, you can rip them up or cut them in half and literally just toss them. Let them sit. Lettuce, done. Tomatoes, I like a big tomato. Beefsteak, I got a couple heirlooms here. I don't like them not to sit flat, so if I get the end of the tomato, which I use, I just trim off that tiny bit of skin so it sits flat. This, I'm gonna go around the core. Another big tomato. Nice and thick, the tomato. The tomato has to offer a lot of texture, not just taste. All about the same thickness, sitting flat and hanging out. Tiny bit of sugar on the tomato. I know people are gonna go crazy. It gives that nostalgic childhood tomato taste. Pepper. BLT is all about the seasoning. Of course, sea salt. You don't wanna do this too much ahead of time, few minutes. You know, let the lettuce marinate for a few minutes, season up those tomatoes, salt, pepper, tiny bit of olive oil, not too much. Just a little. Toast white bread right in the toaster. Tomatoes, lettuce, toast, bacon. So we have our bacon. Crispy, not overly greasy. That's the other thing starting your bacon in water does. Makes it not so greasy, super crispy. And that's the whole texture of this sandwich, right? Lives with the bacon. So recap. Bacon, little drained. Tomatoes, seasoned salt, pepper, sugar, pinch of sugar, a little vinegar. The lettuce, seasoned in the dressing. Of course, some mayonnaise. I'm gonna leave you to guess what kind of mayo I like. That's why I covered it not so slyly, but it's my favorite mayo. It's American. And I saved a little bit of that delicious bacon grease. I mean, I save all of it. I know a lot of people, their moms, their grandmas saved a can of bacon grease at the bottom of the stove and cooked everything in it. I like to keep it for stuff, particularly to drizzle on my tomatoes for a BLT. Put all that bacon grease right on the tomato. These are the little things that no one sees, right? These are our little twists on a BLT. Why not have the T taste like the B? That's the T. Plus, I feel like the tomatoes really welcome that meatiness. Toast is ready. Crunch check. Now we start. Mayo. Mayo. Said I gotta change brands. I don't like to spear it evenly. I like when there's one bite with a little mayo and one bite with a little less. I like the unevenness that makes it feel human and real. Not a perfect BLT, a real BLT like you know it. You've known a BLT your whole life. Lettuce, soaked in that dressing, juicy, vinegary. That's where that acid comes from, which we so need. It's okay if the leaves overlap a little. Mayo, not spreading it in. Lettuce spears. I like a lot of L on my BLT. Basically a salad. It just has mayonnaise, bread, and bacon. Tomato right on top. Now, as you're building your sandwich, press. Not super forcefully, but you want to build a sandwich to last. Is that enough tomato? I don't think so. Yeah. Remember that sugar, that salt, that pepper we put on the tomato? I can smell this sandwich. Bacon, I don't know, 3-4 pieces on each. If I have any little leftover dressing from the lettuce, I'll put a little right over that. All right, bread and press. Bread, press. The moment we've all been waiting for. Ooh, that sound. That's the bacon. Ta-da. My favorite part. Scrunch it down. Oh yeah. Got mayo. Got vinaigrette. Get in here. Most delicious BLT. Subscribe for more easy recipes. BLT is all about the seasoning. A lot of texture. These are the little things that no one sees, right? These are our little twists on a BLT.